So we're here with Anna Tauzin, and she's going to talk to us about what she has been doing here in Washington, D.C. So why don't you first of all talk about what you're doing here?
Well, I applied and enrolled at American University as a grad student and wasn't admitted into their prep program. Too full. So I decided to take a position with the broadcast program, and my focus is now international broadcast, which I'm probably going to change to online, even though they don't have that program. We're going to create one. And that's what brought me to DC. But since I've been here, I found an internship with JLab, which is the Institute for Interactive Journalism, and they follow a bunch of citizen journalism blogs, and they hand out grants and things like that.
So you had emailed me about some of the things you were doing initially. So talk to me about like starting out in the program, how you felt, like your preparation for it, and then we'll move into like some of your projects and things.
Sure. The start of the program was a 3-week boot camp program, intense boot camp, like 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, for 3 weeks, and that gave us 3 credits towards our graduate degree, and which is amazing. Just like, and it was basically a crash course in all things journalism, because a lot of the people, well, not a lot, some of the people in the program had not ever done journalism before, and so they needed to learn, the 5 W's and the inverted pyramid, and so that was kind of like,
What were their backgrounds, those people, and why did they do it?
Some were mechanical engineers, a couple people were religion majors, and a few people were, I think someone was an art curator.
Sometimes they come from subject matters to be journalists, okay.
But the mechanical engineer was like way ahead of left. Yeah, no idea what she was doing.
Okay.
We learned about going in the field, like we were sent out into the field, we'd be given an assignment, and we just turned in the next day by 5 p.m., just like a normal journalist would, to get it ready for the paper. And it was great. I mean, it's great. I covered a county fair, and I did a story on carnival workers, which was really interesting because it's sort of the side of the carnival you don't see, but you're always kind of like
the carnies,
creepy carnies. And they're actually really nice people. Messed up teeth, but really nice people. And another article I did was about this new plan that this group, the Center for American Progress, has come up with about a new plan for U.S.-China relations. So it really went across the spectrum of what type of stuff I was going to be covering. We also focused on some online work, and we started talking about, what are Facebook, what is Facebook, and what are Facebook applications, and what can you do with that, and do you know how to write HTML, do you know how to write CSS, do you know what Flash is? It's not lighting design.
It's not that thing on the camera.
It's not that. And surprisingly, few people knew about it. Few people knew how to write code, few people knew how to build a website, a few people knew how to blog. They read blogs, they understand them, they feel threatened by them, but did they realize that they can use them to their advantage? And that was probably the most shocking thing about coming here, is how few people were really prepared for the new generation of journalism.
Do you feel that it was a necessary thing for you to do after Texas State, or just one option of several?
In hindsight, I probably didn't have to come to grad school immediately, but I wanted to. Like, I wasn't ready to leave the academia sphere. I knew that I had skills enough to get a decent enough job.
And experience.
And experience after getting my undergrad finally. But I just wasn't ready, or maybe I wanted to skip that, talking about high school football games or something. I don't really know what it was exactly. I just knew after many nights staying awake trying to make this decision that this was the right decision.
Okay. So, the classes that you're taking now, you did boot camp for a couple of weeks. The classes that you're taking now, what are you taking this semester?
This semester, I take, let's see here, Monday I work at JLab from 9 until 2. And then I usually go, yeah, that's fine, thank you. then I usually go do some work on campus or something like that. Tuesdays, I take digital skills for reporters, which is a long-winded way of saying we produce an online newspaper called the American Observer, observer.net.
So the class produces the American Observer. How many people?
There's 12, 13 of us in class, but there's two sections of it. There's Tuesday and then there's Thursday class. And so we have 2 issues that come out every week. But that's a great class. David Johnson teaches that, and he also teaches this other class I've been taking. And it's amazing. He has so much to say and so much he has a lot to say, basically. Wednesdays, I have, it's called Reporting on Public Affairs, and it's with Allison Schaefer. And, excuse me, we spend all day in the field, just like a couple times, or a few times that we did a boot camp, where we are given our emails, a story assignment the previous night, and then we are expected to have a story in by 5 the next day. I go to work at JLab again from usually 9 until 2, and then at 5:30 in the evening I have a seminar on public affairs, which is really the only academic themed course that I have, and it's all about public affairs. And we've done a book review on a book on 9/11. We did a book review on my professor is Joseph Campbell, and he wrote 1897, the year that defined American journalism. I know. Fridays, that's broadcast 1. And in that class, I have Jill Olmstead, who was basically one of the first female anchors, first anchor woman, one of the first anchor women. And she's tough. Jill Olmstead, probably. She knows her stuff. And she expects a lot out of her students. And this class, this semester, is a radio class. And so we do a lot with audio recording, which is really cool. And we're getting ready to start doing voice training to really start reading the news like a real newsreader. Great. And then Saturday I'm in Flash all day, 9 to 5. You have to know how to program, and you have to know how to code, and you have to know these software applications. And I think that's the thing that O&A has been talking about, is you have, yes, of course, you have to know how to write, you have to know how to edit, you have to know how to source and fact check and write to AP style.
That's the minimum requirement in the online. It's like, you know that, now let's do this.
It used to be okay, and people used to scrape by, and it was fine. But now, you have to know not only HTML and CSS and Flash, but you have to know how to apply it. And you have to know what people are looking for, and you have to know your audience, and you have to know the business side too. You have to understand why newspapers are losing money, and why you have to cater to the advertisers online sometimes. There's so much now that you have to learn that people didn't have to know before. Radio stations, they're all going the same way, but with a slightly different flavor. And that's awesome. Like, there's so much out there for people to do. Like, the jobs are waiting. Like, they're waiting to be created, basically. And they're there. That's not an issue.
Okay, so we're probably running out of tape here. So last question. What do you want to do when you're done?
Ideally, or?
Ideally.
Okay. I'm not hoping. I want to be an intern for WashingtonPost.com and work for Jim Brady over next summer, and I want him to hire me. And that's it. I really meant, like, I don't know if you've looked at my website, I'm sure you have. But when I say in my first paragraph that the future is changing and I want to I want to be a part of that transition, I really do. Like, I want to be there to train people to get ready for what's coming next. We still don't know. We have an idea, but we still don't know.
I think that's the best thing that we can kind of end this with, because it is all about being a part of change and being, like, ready for that, not just going to a job and, like, okay, tell me what to do.
Right. No.
And it requires people like with this kind of enthusiasm that I'm seeing coming out of you. So
yeah, catch the bug and catch it quick, because if not, you're not going to find a job.